You don't get a choice. Long before you take your first step into the warm summer night, the world has already decided what you are. You're a cricket, and from the moment you tear your way out of that egg, abandoned in the soil where your mother left you and never looked back, you are completely alone. There's no one to teach you, no one to guard you, no one who even knows you exist. You're smaller than a grain of rice, soft, pale, and almost see-through. Your shell hasn't hardened yet. A single drop of rain could pin you to the dirt and drown you. A wandering ant could tear you apart and carry you home in pieces. And all around you, hundreds of your own brothers and sisters are hatching at the same time, just as hungry, just as frightened, and more than willing to eat you alive if it buys them one more day. Welcome to your life. Try to enjoy it. It won't last long. In these first days, you are nothing but food that hasn't been eaten yet. You don't walk so much as flinch through the world, freezing at every shadow. Above you, birds are watching. Below you, beetles are hunting. Spiders have strung the gaps between the grass with silk, waiting for something small and stupid to stumble in. And you are small. You are, for now, very stupid. You have no plan. You have only instinct, and instinct says one thing: hide, eat, and grow before something finds you. So you eat. You eat almost anything. Rotting leaves, seeds, dead insects, even the bodies of the siblings who didn't make it. There is no shame in it out here. There's only the gnawing, endless hunger and the simple math of survival. Every meal is a gamble. Every time you leave your hiding place to feed, you are rolling the dice on whether you will still be alive when the sun comes up. It is not only predators you have to fear. The cold can take you just as easily. You are at the mercy of the temperature in a way you can never fight back against. When the air turns cold, your whole body slows, your legs stiffen, your reactions dull, and you become an easy, sluggish target for anything still warm enough to move. One bad night, one early frost, and you simply stop. No struggle, no escape, just the quiet shutting down of a body that was never built to last. And then comes the part nobody warns you about. To grow, you have to shed your own skin. Your body is locked inside a hard outer shell, and that shell cannot stretch. So when you grow too big for it, you have to climb out of yourself. You split your old skin down the back and drag your soft, wet body free, inch by inch, completely helpless the entire time. For these few minutes, you cannot run. You cannot fight. You are paper soft and defenseless. And if anything finds you now, it is over. You will do this again and again, 10 times or more, and every single time is a fresh chance to die. But let's say you're lucky. Let's say you survive the spiders, the birds, the rain, and your own family. You harden, you darken, you grow long, powerful back legs and a thick, armored body. You are at last an adult cricket, and now you think the worst is behind you. It isn't. It is only just beginning, because now you're old enough to do the one thing every cricket is built for. You sing. If you're a male, you lift your wings and scrape them together again and again, filling the night with that high, ringing chirp. It is beautiful. It carries for hundreds of feet through the dark. And that is exactly the problem, because everything that wants to eat, you can hear it too. Every time you call out for a mate, you're also screaming your exact location to every predator in the field. Frogs turn toward the sound. Owls swivel their heads. Parasitic flies, flies that exist only to hunt singing crickets, drift down out of the dark and land on your back, laying their eggs into your body. Those eggs hatch inside you. The larvae eat you alive from the inside out, and within a week or two, you are a hollow shell and they are crawling free. You sang for love, and love sent something to devour you. This is the bargain of your entire life. To matter, you have to be seen. And to be seen is to be hunted. There is no version of being a cricket where you are ever truly safe. But none of this, not the spiders, not the birds, not the flies, is the worst thing that can happen to you. The worst thing doesn't come from the sky or the grass. It comes from the water. And it has been waiting for you since before you were born. It starts with a drink or a meal, somewhere in the damp soil or in a puddle or inside another insect you swallowed. There is something almost too small to see. A tiny larva. You take it in without a second thought, the way you take in everything. And that is the single greatest mistake of your life, even though you will never understand that it happened. Because inside you it begins to grow. It is a horsehair worm, and it has one purpose, one ancient, ruthless plan, and you are not the hero of that plan. You are the vehicle. You are the meat it rides until it doesn't need you anymore. At first, you feel nothing. You go on eating. You go on singing. You go on living your small, anxious cricket life, never knowing that something is uncoiling inside your body. The worm feeds on you from within, your fat, your tissue, the energy you gather every night. It grows longer and longer, coiling and folding through the inside of your body until is many times longer than you are. It fills you. It hollows you out and packs itself into the space where your organs used to have room. And still, it keeps you alive. It needs you walking. It needs you breathing. A dead cricket is useless to it, so it is careful with you. It is patient. It takes only what it can take while still leaving just enough of you to function, draining you slowly over weeks, turning your own body into a private larder. You feel heavier. You move a little slower. Maybe some buried part of you senses that something is wrong, but you cannot name it, and you cannot fight it, and so you carry it everywhere you go, this swelling thing that is quietly using you up one night at a time. You become a puppet that doesn't know its strings have already been cut. And when the worm is finally ready, fully grown and desperate to breed, it faces one problem. It can only mate and lay its eggs in water. But you are a land animal. You have spent your whole life avoiding water, because to a cricket, open water is death. You cannot swim. You will drown. The worm knows this, and so it does the most chilling thing in all of nature. It reaches into your brain. We still don't fully understand how, but the worm floods your nervous system with proteins that hijack the way you think. It rewrites your instincts, that deep, hardwired fear that has kept you away from water your entire life. The worm simply switches it off, and then it replaces that fear with a pull, a craving, a need you cannot explain and cannot resist. Suddenly, the water you spent your whole life avoiding looks like the only place you want to be. You're drawn to it, the shimmer of the surface, the cool, damp air above it. Something in you, something that is no longer you, says go. So you go. You climb. You crawl to the edge of the pond, or the stream, or the pool, the exact place every instinct you were born with once screamed at you to avoid. And then you jump in. The moment you hit the water, your body begins to drown. But the worm doesn't care because this was always the plan. As you sink and struggle, a long, thin, dark shape pushes its way out of your body, out through the back of you, sometimes while you're still alive to feel it. It is the worm, far longer than its tiny host could ever seem to contain, unspooling into the water like a living thread, free at last. It wriggles away to find others of its kind, to breed, to release a new generation of larvae into the water. Larvae that will be eaten by other insects, that will end up inside other crickets, that will do all of this over again. And you're left behind, a drowned, gutted husk floating on the surface, your final act in life, a suicide you were tricked into committing by a thing that ate your insides and stole your mind. You didn't even die for yourself. You died as a delivery system. Your entire existence, the hatching, the hiding, the molting, the singing, the surviving against impossible odds, all of it ended in a body of water you were never meant to touch, because something convinced you that drowning was what you wanted. That is what it means to be born as a cricket. You begin alone, abandoned in the dirt. You grow up as prey, hunted from every direction, forced to tear your way out of your own skin again and again just to get bigger. You earn the right to sing, and your song calls down the very things that kill you. And even if you beat all of it, the spiders, the birds, the flies, the frogs, you can still lose. You can still be hollowed out from the inside and march to your own drowning by a parasite that was riding inside you the entire time, steering. You never had a choice, not at the start and not at the end. So the next time you hear that gentle chirping on a warm summer night, remember what it really is. It is not peace. It is not a lullaby. It is a tiny, doomed creature screaming into the dark for one chance at love, surrounded by everything that wants to end it, and maybe, just maybe, already carrying its own quiet executioner coiled up inside. Be glad you weren't born as a cricket.